Hey, it works today. The last 2 days I went in to record this, the website was down for the Game Awards. Maybe it has something to do with that big Cloudflare outage yesterday, but yeah, once again, going to be going through all the categories, going in blind this year for the most part. I did see a couple of them. Go over what I would like to see win, slash the game I'm looking forward to playing most out of that list, since I haven't played a lot of games that released this year, and then just doing a little bit of a retrospective of what I have played this year and what, out of those games from various years, what I would say would win that category for my personal playthroughs. Game of the Year, this was one that I did already see, although I didn't recall Donkey Kong Bonanza being on there. I mean, the general consensus seems to be Clair Obscur Expedition 33. We'll say that the whole command/menu-based RPGs aren't really my thing. So honestly, not too interested really in playing it anytime soon, but I will acknowledge it did look pretty good for what it was. And other than that, a lot of sequels for games I haven't played, plus Donkey Kong, which I haven't been happy with what Nintendo's been up to lately. So I'm trying to hold off as long as I can on getting a Switch 2. So I guess out of what's left, if I was to start any of these series, I would probably lean towards Kingdom Come Deliverance. That being said, my personal game of the year that I played was Stellar Blade. Although it's close, there's a lot of really great games I played for the first time this year. Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy, is a very close second. Maybe if it was a little longer, it would have stood more of a chance against Stellar Blade. Best game direction, we'll say that I am kind of interested in Split Fiction. If you can play solo, I don't really have anyone to play with. As for games I played this year, I would say probably Sifu was probably the most creative, innovative, and unique. Best narrative, once again, probably most interested in Kingdom Come Deliverance. This is another tough one out of what I've played this year. But the two I'm between right now are Fatal Frame, Mask of the Lunar Eclipse, and Metal Gear Solid. And this is probably the first time that anyone's ever said this, but I think I enjoyed the story in the Fatal Frame game more, so that would be my choice. Both very good, obviously, though, as well as some others I played throughout the year. Best art direction, we've seen these games before, but I don't think I've ever picked between them. I would say out of these, I'm probably most interested in trying out one of the Hades games. I really don't know out of what I have played this year. I think I kind of want to give it to Sifu again. I did play other sort of cel-shaded anime-ish games. I don't know, something with that one though just really was, I guess, a bit better, or maybe not better, but different and more standout than some of the other ones I can think of that I've played this year, like a Katamari or a Xenoblade 2. Oh, I don't know though, because some of the worlds... Is Xenoblade 2 cheating though? Because I played through most of it before and I came back and I did the DLC and some side quests, so I don't know if that should be eligible, but I'm thinking of some of the environments in that one. Yeah, I feel like that's cheating. We'll say Sifu. Best music, out of these, once again, Hades is the one I'm most interested in playing, and out of games I've played this year, hands down Stellar Blade. I think this was the one category, or was it sound design or something, that it got nominated for last year, or maybe it was both. Either way, I don't think anything else was really that close to it for me. Best audio design, Battlefield 6 is a new one. Out of these, I think earlier I was close to giving one category to Silent Hill F, but wound up going with Split Fiction over it, so I'll give it this one for the game I would like to play first out of these. when it comes to games I played this year with decent audio design, I don't know, maybe I kind of remember Dead by Daylight doing some fun, interesting things. I feel like this is a very good category for a horror game. Best performance. Once again, I think Indiana Jones is the only new one here. I think I'm gonna give Silent Hill F as the one that I want to play the most. A lot of Expedition 33 here. Erika Ishii, is she the one that a lot of people don't like? That's the protagonist in Ghost of Yotai? I don't know. Off the top of my head. I think I did hear a bit, though, of Indiana Jones in the new game and thought that sounded pretty good, too. But I don't really know enough about this category, really, to give a good answer, I guess. From games I've played this year, I played through the first 2 Uncharted. Whoever played Nathan Drake did a good job. That's the first one that pops in the top of my head. Innovation and accessibility. I have no idea what any of these games did. I remember I really actually wanted Doom the Dark Ages, but then I heard it wasn't that good, that it was kind of boring. But I guess I would still put it as the favorite out of all of these options, even with that. And yeah, I never messed with any accessibility options in any of the games I played, so I don't think I could really comment, but, still good to see. Games for Impact. I've only heard of South of Midnight, and I had to look it up, but I did hear of Wonder Stop, because it was made by the same guy that did the Stanley Parable. I don't know, I think that's supposed to be kind of farm PG-like, maybe? I don't know, I think between those two I would rather try out South of Midnight. I don't know, Metal Gear Solid is probably the first game that I played this year off the top of my head that could kind of maybe fit here. Best ongoing, I have played Fortnite and No Man's Sky before. I couldn't really get into either of them, although maybe I should give No Man's Sky another chance someday. I will say I am kind of interested in Marvel Rivals, though. Or at least, a little bit more than Helldivers and Final Fantasy. I think that's 14. This is kind of funny. The only game that I could think of that I played this year that has continued support is Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Them finally making our Butters South Park dreams come true, and I see the notifications on Steam that they're still doing, new updates and events, so I guess that would be the choice. Best community support, most interested in Baldur's Gate 3. Not really much of a question here. I don't know, I haven't really interacted too much with any general social media or whatever from developers. So, another one I just don't think I can really comment on. Best indie game. Never heard of Absolum or Blueprints. I know some people may debate Expedition 33. I feel like there's some big exclusions like Megabonk or Schedule 1, or I saw, Escape from Duck Off doing well too. I guess personally that I would give the edge to Hades out of what I would like to play first out of these. Out of what I've played, I guess this is another technicality. I haven't played as many indie games this year. More just, older stuff. I would probably give it to Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom. Like I said, that's kind of a technicality. I'm sort of using, when I published videos on all the games I played this year as a reference, and I see that my Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom video was from last year, but it was from after my Game Awards video, so I think that's kind of the same situation Indiana Jones is in, so I think that one works. Don't think it was up for anything. I think it came out last year, which is a shame. Best indie debut, shout out to, I think it was the Megabonk developer, because I guess it was up here, but then he was like, hey, I did other games. So some appreciated good integrity there, but out of what else we have here, haven't heard of Despelot. I don't remember if that came up earlier or not. I've heard of Dispatch, but I'm not really sure what it is. I don't know, would I go in with something completely blind like Dispatch? Or would I rather go to something that I'm not sure is for me, but I just keep hearing is amazing, like Expedition 33? You know what? I'll give it something on my end for what I want to play most in this category. Once again, though, I don't think I can really comment on what I've played this year. Once again, not a lot of indies, and I don't know everyone's history to really say what was a debut and what wasn't. Best mobile game. I thought Withering Waves came out last year. Maybe I'm wrong. Out of these, I did at one point have Umasume Pretty Derby downloaded. So that would be the favorite here. I just never opened it or, dove into it or anything. I haven't really played any mobile games outside of Fire Emblem Heroes and the offline version of Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, so this one would go to Fire Emblem, which may just about be who it always goes to, although, like I said, if I actually dove in, maybe Umesume could have, given it a run for its money. And maybe I'll do it eventually, I don't know. The best VR AR, I really have no interest in. I didn't even know of any of these games. I guess the Deadpool one, Twisted Pixel. Weren't they the ones that did like Explosion Man and shit? I don't know. Either way, that's all I really have to say. I haven't played anything. I don't have any VR AR stuff. Completely uninformed here. Best action game, hands down, Ninja Gaiden 4 is definitely the one I want to play most here. Out of what I've played this year, once again, I said it was my game of the year out of stuff I've played, so I guess Stellar Blade would fit in and be the pick here. Best action adventure out of this, once again, would give it to Split Fiction for what I want to play the most. Out of what I've played this year, let's see, I think it says puzzles and traversal. Pikmin 4 count? This is a tough one because action adventure to me is just kind of so generic of a way to classify a game. I feel like you can classify most games as it. Are you able to be in multiple genres nominations? Because Pikmin might come under strategy. I don't know, honestly not worth diving that deep into. I'll just leave it at that. With these RPGs, once again, most interested in trying out Kingdom Come Deliverance. So this is a weird category for me. I think I'm going to give it to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, although I'm currently playing through Yakuza 5, so I don't think it's fair to really, officially do my judgment here before I finish it. It's a long game, though. I'm not even halfway through, but I'm still 20-ish hours in. But I think would probably win out if I completed it. I'm really liking that one a lot so far. But I guess on a technicality, it might have to wait till next year and Final Fantasy gets it now. Fighting games. This and RPGs I knew going into. Kind of thought it seemed like a lot of remakes here. I kind of want to give it to something new. I guess between two, XKO and Fatal Fury City of Wolves, I'm more interested in Fatal Fury. But at the same time, Capcom Fighting Collection 2 has Power Stone 2 in it. That one I do have, and I actually just started to play too. So I guess this is the first time we technically have a game here that I've played this year, but it's a remake. But you know what? I don't care. Power Stone is Power Stone. That would be my pick. Although I guess it's also kind of cheating because it's also a compilation. Well, I guess Mortal Kombat is too, but you have a lot more variety with Capcom Fighting Collection. I've played less fighting games than usual this year, but like I said, for my personal pick out of what I've played, if I didn't count Yakuza with RPGs since I'm not finished, I'm also not going to count Capcom Fighting Collection. So I only played a couple this year, and I think I would give it to PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Best family, I would give it to Sonic Racing, personally, out of what I want to play the most. I don't know what it was with that game. I originally wasn't too interested, but all of a sudden I was. So I don't know, I might pick it up on a sale and dive right in. No solid promises though, because I'm someone who definitely gets distracted and may say that, but wind up not playing it for a couple years. But out of these, that would be my pick. So I would have thought this would have been multiplayer, like sort of focused, but then Donkey Kong's on here, which I thought was single player. If it's allowed, then you know what I'm saying. Jak and Daxter the Precursor Legacy, which, just got edged out by Stellar Blade for my personal game of the year. And I don't really know what other category I can really put it in. Best Sim Strategy. This is actually a tough one. I'm actually interested in a lot of these. I do already have Final Fantasy Tactics, one of the older versions of it, though. And I have other games in, Jurassic World, Civilization, and 2 Point. I never really even heard of Tempest Rising. I guess out of these, what series I would be more likely to get into first, I guess would be Final Fantasy Tactics. Or to get more into, because I have played a little Civilization before. And if you don't want to put Pikmin up for multiple categories, I guess Trapped would be a good fit here too. Oh, I guess he can be up for multiple genres since I see Sonic and Mario Kart again. Once again, Sonic hands down. Out of what I've played this year, only a couple options, but I think it hands down would be Jak X Combat Racing from what I've actually played. Multiplayer, once again, I would say Split Fiction is the one I'm most interested in. Although, I don't know. I've heard good things about Peak 2. I'm not really sure what it is, though. Once again, I'm more of a single-player person, so I don't really know what has the best online experience. I know some that, have multiplayer experiences. Would probably be like Capcom Fighting Collection, but I already said that wasn't eligible, but I know we just gave it something, but I guess Jak X Combat Racing, I think also had online. I could be wrong about that, but if it did, that's pretty impressive, especially for the time. Hopefully it was good. Not sure what kind of state that may be in now, if, communities found a way to, do anything with it. Best adaptation. I didn't see this one, but I did hear people were mad that Sonic 3 didn't get nominated, which I didn't realize came out this year. And that's probably the only thing I can really think of out of adaptations that I'm aware of that I'm kind of interested in since I saw the other two. I mean, out of these, I would probably be most interested in, I guess, with Until Dawn. That was already kind of heavy and would probably translate well for an adaptation. I don't know how it actually was or anything. And I've pretty much watched nothing this year, honestly, in general. I canceled my Crunchyroll to get Amazon Prime Video to watch the Yakuza series. And then when that was done, I just never renewed anything. I've just been kind of on YouTube, although I would like to get my Crunchyroll back, hopefully, sometime soon. Most anticipated game. Is this really fair for Grand Theft Auto 6? I mean, it's probably going to win for a second, maybe even a third year in a row if it keeps getting delayed. I don't know. I think that's a little unfair for it to get the nomination again. Out of these, personally, honestly, I'm probably most looking forward to 007 First Light. And yeah, I don't know of anything else really too crazy that's sort of announced coming out next year or so that, I'm really looking forward to. That, may have missed out. I mean, I don't know, Stellar Blade 2, Final Fantasy VII Part 3, but I don't think those are fair. Those are probably not as close as any of these. We haven't, seen anything yet, even though they're announced. That's pretty much it. Content Creator of the Year. I'm only familiar with Kai and Moist Critical. I haven't heard of the other three. I guess I would give it to Moist Critical. Out of whose content I would prefer to watch. Kind of past, the games and the personal picks, I think, at this point. Out of what esport I would rather watch out of these, honestly, I would probably say Mobile Legends Bang Bang because I'd never heard of it. So I guess going in blind and not knowing anything would be a little fun. Esports athlete, haven't heard of anyone here. Not really into esports. I mean, I like Street Fighter, I guess. So maybe one of them. If I had to pick something to watch. Best team. I think all these teams are like part of the same games that were up for best esports games. So I guess same thing. Mobile Legends Bang Bang I would be the most interested in watching just to find out what the hell it even is, since this is the first time I've ever heard of it. And that was actually it. Overall, I think for what I've personally played, I've really enjoyed it. It's been a good year for all the, first time games I've played. I know I mentioned, Metal Gear only a little bit, but I want to stress that that was also amazing playing through MGS1 for the first time, and I don't think I mentioned Bayonetta 2 at all. That was really fun. We Love Katamari, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Yakuza Dead Souls, and I can probably, go on and on. Most games I've played this year I feel like are worth a shout out, even if they weren't part of that, handful I just named or any of the other categories and, discussed a little earlier. Overall, what's been actually coming out, though, honestly, not as hot, not as appealing. Doesn't help when, publisher I used to, really like and respect Nintendo and their legal bullshit with Power World and some of the stuff they've done with Switch 2 completely derailed my interest. And I would normally be super excited and happy about a new Mario Kart, a new Fire Emblem, but I just don't give that much of a shit, especially when I have so many other tactical RPGs and kart racers on my backlog that could take their place for now, and I'll get to them when I either cave or Switch 2s are old news and really cheap. And I don't know, I just feel like the general state of a lot of, big games just really sucks. But, we still got indie. And like I said, I got gigantic backlog of a bunch of shit, a bunch of good shit. So, yeah, hopefully next year is a step in the right direction with actual stuff coming out. And hopefully it can somehow keep up with all the great games I've played this year in terms of what I choose to play going forward in 2026.